for Cowpro is to power you so that you grow your farm as a digitally smart farm. And the vision for Cowpro arose out of our engagement with farmers, where we were mostly finding that when you go to farms, we were not able to get accurate records, complete records, or no records at all. And mostly you will find either the farmer has, for example, milk records in a book or on a paper. And then there are some other records like receipts for how the cows have been treated, and some straws for insemination. And then that is the end of the story. And therefore, making view of the farm operations was a big challenge for us. And as we continue talking, then as we challenge farmers why they're not keeping records, I think most of them were asking, why don't you give us a system? And so we are here with Cowpro. So most of us have interacted with PERFOMETER, or if you're interacting with PERFOMETER for the first time, we've been around for the last 12 years. We have several products. We have a catalog of products. We have a dairy farm benchmark. I'll not talk about it because today we're talking about Cowpro, but just to show you what we have dairy farm benchmark. We have been offering virtual trainings through the Daily Management Toolbox, which is evolving to an Alliance of Learning Center. We would want to bring agri-learning across the different value chains, beef, fodder, honey, apiary, and the rest. We have supported very many investors to upgrade their dairy farms through Cowban design and construction. We have resident architects who are well-trained, and anytime you visit farms that have been designed and constructed by PERFOMETER, you see a very notable difference. The Academy of Dairy is one of our flagship products. We have trained very many managers who have gone on to excel in the workplace. A number of them, whenever we visit, they always credit the training they got. So we have Academy of Dairy for training managers and also investors. Previously, we were hosting investors in conjunction with Strathmore. Cow sourcing and delivery, if you contact us, we have a network of farms profiled with good records. We can be able to give you a good offer and deliver good cows with records that are sure bet for your farm. Cowpro is what you're talking about. And dairy-wise, we used to publish stories from farmers and emerging issues in the sector. This one is evolving into a digital space. And also, we help farms to do ration formulation. We are supporting women in dairy, and this is a program that continues to run together with dairy master plans. This is what I champion with my finance background, and together with the teams, we are able to give you a comprehensive roadmap whenever you want to set up, and of course, Dairy World. So in terms of operations, now PERFOMETER is a comprehensive consulting company. We support dairy, we support fodder, and we support beef, and we operate across advisory, knowledge, and business solutions. In terms of support, I know some of us who are joining us are from other countries. We have quite a good footprint in the market. So Cowpro is our discussion for today. We want to look at what it is and what it's not. We also want to see how you can set up your account, how you can sign up, what is some of the modules or the sections that you'll find. And then finally, you'll be able to look at a bit of practice. So in terms of Cowpro, it's basically a digital tool to manage your herd efficiently. So we are moving you from handheld manual records to a web-based system, which you can access anywhere with your computer and with internet. We are also looking at giving you a digital product that helps you to digitize your farm across all operations. So your milking operation, that record goes in, your breeding actions at the farm, your weight measurements for the calves and cows, together with vaccinations and everything. So we we give you a digital ability across the farm. So when you have Cowpro, the several books that you'll be having at the farm for milk, for breeding, for weight recording, would be compressed into one tool. And finally, we are giving you the ability to be able to make decisions very fast through the analytical features that the product have. In terms of why should I sign up for Cowpro? The first thing is that with Cowpro, you are able to quickly make decisions because using the dashboard, you can see what's happening. You can analyze, or the system is analyzing for you key performance indicators. And of course, it's helping you to keep track of several farm operations. For example, notifications on when you need to vaccinate your cows, when you need to check your heat, for example, treatments that need repeat visits, and basically even indicators of farm performance across. For example, if you're checking your weight and you see that the weight gain is not as per expected, you're able to then make that quick decision. But one other ability that Cowpro gives you, because it's web-based, meaning you can access it anywhere, it means that for some of us here who are quote unquote telephone farmers, you can be able to see how the farm is performing from the comfort of your desk before you travel. I know most of us schedule travels maybe every week or once a month, and sometimes you're not able to go because it's a strain or something has come up. Most of us are busy, but you can be able to see the performance of your farm at a glance. So that is, I would say, the value proposition. And decision making is a very important tool for an investor and for you as a dairy farmer. You need to make decisions on which cows to keep in the farm, which cows to cull, which cows to enhance in terms of feeding. And basically, it will be able to show you what is really happening at the farm. I should have a disclaimer at this point that the ability to get efficiency, the ability for you to be able to get all these notifications would depend on the quality of data that is being entered. So for you to maximize the benefits of the software, which has taken quite a bit of time to develop, but also with continuous improvement, it will require you to set up a data entry system that is foolproof. And we have seen that people are usually not inclined to change. That is the managers and the staff and the people at the farm. So I think there has to be a strategy around getting the systems to work in terms of data entry and analysis. Basically, if you are accessing it and there's no data that's being entered, or the data is being entered at the end of the month, then that may not really help. And therefore, with systems, we basically have to come up with a culture change in the sense that the people that are working at the farm, and especially the manager or a designated data entry analyst, needs to be put in place. So those are some of the changes you need to do. But with time, I think gradually everyone gets to appreciate. If the manager knows that he doesn't have to fill templates and templates of books, especially for the big farms, and if the manager knows that at the end of the month, you will just click a button and submit, for example, the milk records, which is sometimes maybe taking an hour to be able to compile on Excel, because first for most farms, they put on manually in the book and then go to Excel and start typing. And of course, with the errors and the delay, that saving on time would be a plus. So we would want to move to practicals because it's basically a practical session. So I am going to drop this presentation. I was trying to psych us up what we have. We are now going to practically demonstrate how to get in and what to do in Cowpro. So I will go to the website. I'm just a first-time user, and So as a first-time user, you have your browser on phone. And just a minute, I get to the website. So assume that you were on your computer and you wanted to look for Cowpro. So you go to the browser, you type www.cowpro.co.ke. That's the link. When I type, it brings Cowpro Daily Management System. So we had asked most of us to download, but I'm assuming that this is the first time we're interacting with it. So this brings you the landing page of Cowpro, and the pop-up button you get there is sign up now. And then of course you can see there is of course the contact number up there. There is a discover, there are features, there are modules, there's pricing. I should say at this point that those of us who are early adopters will enjoy free Cowpro services for the first year. And it's going to be free for the first year, and then we'll be able to, with your feedback, to enhance whatever is missing, get superior features, and then come up with a product offering, which would be able to, of course, meet your pocket. So if you already signed in, as in you already downloaded and registered, you will have a login sign. If you didn't, then you will have a sign up button. So sign up now and sign up button will take us to the app. So because I already signed up, I would want to go back and take us to a very, I want to go back to the beginning button. So I am going to log out and I will sign up afresh. If you already signed up, I think you should be good to go. If you had not signed up, then we can sign up and get done. So we are here on getting started. Please confirm that you can see my screen.
Yeah, it's visible.
Yes, we can.
Okay. So when you are signing up, you sign up using your email. Make sure you use the correct email because we have several systems and sometimes you may miss out on your email. You may forget your password and therefore you may want to reset it. If you put a wrong email, then you'll not be able to get. So I'm going to put an email here for purposes of our demonstration. It may not be very correct because we already used this and I'm showcasing one. So let me just say I am smauser@ymail.com. We put a password on this password. It is supposed to have a capital. So ensure you have a capital letter, the protocol for the password, and then you can have a special character and some letters. So you have first of all, you have an uppercase, you have a special character and then numbers. That is the protocol for this farm or for the password entry. In terms of sign up, so once you put your email and password, you will then click sign up because you don't have an account. It takes you to the next page, which is now to register your account, and you put your details, your farm name. Let's assume your farm name is Tikiti Farm. Your email address is what you put up there as you are getting in. So these are the details, basically straightforward, your full name. It can be Sila, it can be Priscilla, it can be Kinya, it can be any. And then you put your contact number. This is also important because in future, the system is going to be upgraded to be able to share updates, and your phone can get SMS updates from the system. So let me put my number. Farm location, they say we are in Kirunga, and then the password that you entered the first time. So once you do that, you are ready going in. There's a privacy policy that you can read and agree, and then you now sign up. When you click sign up, you have quickly joined Cowpro as a user. Now this one is telling me the email already exists, and therefore I need to probably get another email. I don't know if you already signed up and forgot, that is what will happen. So for purposes of this, because we already have a number of emails, I'm going to enter. Let me go back and use an email which does not exist. So just go back. You can go back with the back button on your browser. And for those who are using phones, then it will be, I've tried to change the email. Let me sign up. Yeah, so I have now, please note that at this point, you may make a mistake and use a different email because we have not activated the email activation, but that is going to come. Why it's important for you to use a usable email is because if you forget your password, then it can be reset. So the moment you land into Cowpro, it welcomes you to the dashboard, and the first thing it tells you is to add an animal, or you can explore. So maybe let's quickly explore, and then we shall come back to add animals. So on the exploration, it brings the dashboard. Dashboard shows you how many cows you have. So, so in terms of the features then, so Cowpro here has, it has modules. The first one is the herd manager. Herd manager is for adding cows. The second one is for health. The third one is for fertility. And the fourth one is for milk. There will be changes in terms of entry so that we have milk as number 2, because that's the important operation on the farm. Then you have weight manager. And finally, there are some modules that will come later, including the feed manager and the KPIs and finance. So we jumped into, so it has brought you to the system, and the first thing you need to do once you sign up is to go to the herd manager. When you click on it, when you scroll down, you will find that when you click on this button, which is a down looking arrow, you will see that it brings all animals. When you click on that, if you already entered animals, it will take you to the place for entering the animals, or to the reports. In this case, we can add an existing cow. So for the farms who are here and you already have cows on your farm, if you click on this button, you can be able to add your cow. So let's assume, for example, most of us like calling our names, our cows' familiar names. So let's say, for example, this is a Gilando, for example. We are adding an existing cow. So I am assuming that you already have the records when it was born, its weight, the type of cow, that is a breed. And so you can be able to put the date. And in this case, it basically means that you can quickly set up a date when it was born by clicking on the arrow. If it was born, let's say 2021 November, that date, you already have it in the book, so you can pick it. You will need to put the current weight. Let's say this cow has 540 kgs. It's a big cow. Centimeters, that's basically the height. Let's say it's 1.5 meters. And then the gender, it's a female cow. Then this one, we would say no because it's not twins, but sometimes there's some few cows that are born twins. So which breed is it? Is it an Angus? Is it an Hereford? Is it a Jersey, or is it other? That means from this category, you do not have the breed type. Therefore, we know that most of us like Fresian, so we put that. If you don't have, then it's a special breed you can type. So there's an option for other. Maybe it may be a cross, for example, or it may be a breed which is not here. So for training sake, let's say it's a Olsen Fresian. A sire code is basically when we get the straws, we have the straw code. So that's what we put here. And this is for those of us here who are breeders. We know that cow records are very important. So this sire code, we could, let's assume it's C090. The bull name, of course, we know that when they sell semen, we people always also note the bull, where that semen was extracted from. And of course, there are famous bulls and the like. So for the farm, because these records are going to be reviewed later, you could say, for example, the bull that um, this cow was served in, maybe when you bought, and you the records is champion, and then the dam code. Dam code would be, of course, the mother for this cow. It could, for example, PJIK, and the color. So for the color, of course, the color of the cow, say black, it could be brown. Now, this fertility status is because we are maybe buying this cow. Fertility status means either it's open, means it's not been served, it's dry, it was being milked and stopped being milked. Lactating is a cow that is producing milk, inseminated, calving, and barren. So let's say, for example, this cow is dry and will need to be served, or we could say it's open and it's waiting. Now, I should explain at this point that Cowpro automatically generates farm tags for the cows, and that tag takes the first three initials of the farm. For example, if your farm is Philip Farm, you may find PH and then a series of automatically generated numbers. Now, most of the farms already are tags in operation. So your cows are tags. You put that tag here. For example, in this one, let's say it was Ken 090. You just put that tag there. It will appear in the report because the system already it's been set up to generate automatically, but also you may want to adopt your tags going forward. Therefore, you put your tag there and you are able to add that animal. And it gives you an update that that animal has been added successfully. That cow, in this case, Gilando, has been accessed successfully. So when you scroll down, you will see the tag name, you see the name, you see the breed, you see the age. The age here it's carrying in months. And then you see the current weight, and then you see the open in terms of the status, fertility status. If you go, there is an eye there, an icon for an eye. You can click on it and you'll be able to see the status of the cow in details. Of course, because of data and managing space, the dashboard or the screen gives a few details, but you can open it. Now, you can also, if you made a mistake and while saving your cow, probably entered a detail which is not correct, there is edit option. So you can always edit your details. And then once you finish, you update, and that record goes to the system. So that is for existing cows. We can use the same procedure for a calf that has been born. And let's say, assume this is Gerard. This calf has been born today, and that date, of course, takes automatically. It could also have been born last year, let's say December. We said you can scroll down. Let's say it was born on December 7th. The birth weight, assume it was 36 kgs, a good cow. That would have been about half a meter, let's say 50 centimeters. The gender, it was male. That's why I've called it Gerard. Was it a twin? No. You will tell us if this is something that works for you or has to be post. And what was it? Let's say it was a Jersey. So we enter the sire code, and this basically means this cow that has been born when we inseminated. So we put, let's assume it was, that is a sire code. What was in the straw and the bull name, still assume it was maybe Jock or Champion. And the dam code is the mother for this cow. Assume it was our Gilando, so maybe 090. So this dam code, of course, is the cow that has given birth, and the color, it could be brown, for example. And then what is the birth condition? It could have been born very, very strong or very weak, and therefore needs a bit of attention. That way, we are able to add that curve. So a straightforward entry. So you've added your curve, and of course you can add, finally you can add a new purchase, the same way we have done. Let's assume this is Mukami. We are purchasing it on the 1st of December, 2024. It has been purchased at 350. It's not a very big cow. A purchase height, assume it's 1.8 or 180 centimeters. The gender, of course, we mostly are buying female AFAs. And breeds, assume we have the same Fresian. The color, they say it's black and white. Kona madoadoa. So this process for data entry is you still have the dam code. So this could be the tag for the cow. In terms of how you deal with it in the farm, you may also decide to say, probably, let's put the name. We will, of course, with your feedback, see if it's a dam code. It can be a dam code and name, for example, or just the dam code. And then we have the sire code, which is the semen that was used, and the bull name. We could still maintain Champion, or we could have also Charlize, for example. So, of course, we are buying strong cows. Fertility status, it was inseminated. And then who sold this? Let's assume it was Titus Chege. If there's a Chege here, you can put your thumbs up. Yeah, so how much did we buy it? It was a good breed, and they sell to us at 180,000, for example. Just type the numbers, no commas, and then when we add that cow, we have captured the details. So when someone comes to do financials, you'll be able to just go to the system, extract, and then those 3 cows are there. So this farm, I've done 3 transactions or 3 entries. They have added the cows that are existing. They've added a new calf, and they've also, of course, added a cow that has been born. So that is the first thing we do when we start. Without animal records, you cannot be able to do anything else, because so the first module that is very important is the animal record. We add the animals, or we add the cows. Now, we may, of course, we've shown how to edit. There is that pencil button. There is the eye you can see. You can also delete. And of course, it always asks you, are you sure you want to remove this record? Yes, delete it. Now, I should say at this point that the rights to add animals to the farm will have to be allocated. Either it has to be done by the manager who is authorized, or the farm owner. So that is how you do it. The delete button would also not work, or should not work for users, because someone can, if you have 100 cows, someone can remove one and of course run with it. We've seen some people assuming that they are the owners of farms and running away, unfortunately. So what else can we do under the animal module? Under the animal module, we can cull. Cull means the cow has outlived its usefulness or has issues, it's stressing the owner, and therefore we need to remove it from the farm. So what then happens is there's problems because of health. There are very many reasons why you'd want to carry your cow. So you just click on that button, animal culling. You come and select the cow. Let's say this existing cow, which was in the farm. You will look at reason for culling. Culling me, because we are removing it from the records, an animal could have died, and therefore that is the operation. You would have sold it, or let's assume it's barren. We would put that reason. So you click on it, it's a scroll. Once you click in that section, you are already you already have reasons. So let's say sickness, it refused to survive or was about to die. And then you put the date, if it's today, and you put additional notes. This cow was sick and refused, and therefore culled or sold to someone. Well, of course, we do not support selling of sick cows. So let me say it was barren, and it was costing a lot in terms of insemination. So we sold it to a butcher as responsible citizens. So that record has been added. With that culling, you cannot do any transaction now on the cow. You cannot milk it. You cannot serve it. It's already removed. So that is the first transaction. That is what you can do on the cow. So let's add one more cow so that we'll be able to probably start milking. And in this case, let's say this cow is called Sikopoa. We are buying it, or it was born in 2021, December, at a weight of 450 kgs, 240 centimeters, very tall cow. It's a female cow, and the breed was Holstein. The color was black. I am going fast. Probably we may need to extend a bit, but let's see how far we go. So the dam code, we could put something there. Now this depends on the farm. Then let's say this was SK090, and then the bull, we have very many bulls, but let's assume champion is a real bull. We purchased it as a strong cow, and it was inseminated, it was in calf, and this was sold by Gerard K. Gerard Kyoko. We bought it at a price of 250,000 as a pure breed. And then we add that cow. So once we have that cow, Jikopoa, we want to, you can view details, what you've entered. Jikopoa is fine. You can edit as possible. So let's go to, on your left side are the modules. So let's go to, we are assuming the cow is fine. So let's go to fertility records and update its fertility record. This cow, so whenever you click, it will bring the dashboard, animals that are inseminated and those that are ready for insemination. It will give you basically fertility records or fertility status. Either it's inseminated, it's positive, confirmed pregnancy, it's negative, it's barren, or it's lactating, or it's a young stock, and possibly what else? Maybe it's calving, it's about to calve. So this cow, which is Jikopoa, when we are updating the fertility status, we would come and open the fertility module as I've done, and then of course you can view details. We can also update the status. So we click on this button on update status. Sometimes the website would bring a pop-up which we need to remove. So this is, so when you click on update the fertility status, when you are buying this cow, they could have given you when it was, for example, vaccinated. In this case, our cow is assuming that, so we update these records and we need to confirm, when you're buying cows, we already confirmed that it's pregnant, so it's inseminated, it's positive, and we have expected delivery date. This one, depending on the record, you could update, or we just come down here and update the insemination record. So this was inseminated. The bull, assume it's Charlie. From the record that we got, what was the insemination type? Of course, AI. We maybe have the bull code. Sometimes when you type, it will be there. Sometimes you have to type it manually. How many times was it inseminated? Let's say it was inseminated in the first insemination. In terms of the date, let's assume it was, for example, October 4th, or for it to be able to calve, assume it was inseminated in February 2024. Yeah, so once you put that, it should be able to update. This is February 2024. Okay, there's this table for what type of semen it was. Most of us prefer sexed or conventional, so you just click. Basically, when you tick there, it counts. So assume this, our cow was inseminated on the end of February. And therefore, when we do the insemination date, it populates when first you need to check the pregnancy. That's like 18 days after insemination. Of course, we know it's between 18 to 21. And then it also gives you the expected delivery date. With this one updated for your cows as you are entering, it means then that status is going to change if we go to our status, we would find that this status is inseminated and it's positive. For now, we're updating manually, but it should be able to link up. Once we update that, then on the dashboard for fertility, we already have a positive cow or positive pregnancy. So quickly, what we do after that on fertility manager, we now come and you can always scroll. Sometimes I think if you're using the phone, how it looks will be different. We come and so for the fertility manager, we have 4 things we can get. We can get fertility records. We can dry off the cow. If there's an abortion, we can record it, or we can calve. So let's calve this cow so that we go and milk it. So so here it only brings the cows that were already inseminated and confirmed. So our cow was Jikopoa, and it's expected to calve, or it should have calved in November. So in this case, you can always go up, you can always go down. And therefore, let's say for purposes of this, it is calving on 30th of December. That is for practice. Basically, at the farm, you'll be able to put the correct record. The calf status, it was born alive, no complications. It was a straight. If there's a complications, you can always note it, because those are records that help you in the future to track those ones that are giving you problems. So we have calved that cow down, and therefore, in terms of the status, then moves to lactating. So already when you calve down the cow, the status will move from positive pregnancy to lactating, and in this case, this cow is already lactating. And so this dashboard for the system will keep changing depending on the operation and depending on the updates that we are doing. You can always confirm if it's correct by looking at the dashboard and also looking at your stocks, your cows. Now, having calved down, can we milk it? So we have ad manager, we have fertility. When you scroll down, you have, I'm going to go to milk so that at least we get to record milk records at this place. So our milk records, the milk module has 3 things you can get. You can get milk records per cow, per day, per month, per year. You can also do a milk entry. And this is the common data entry practices that are going to happen at the farm, because of course we know the cows are held for the farm for milking. So I'll come and click on milk entry. So when I click on milk entry, it pops up a window that asks you the date you are recording your milk. Now, there are 2 ways of adopting the system. You may have a cutoff and say, I am going to start, I have downloaded this and I'm going to start from this month. And so all records going forward from January, we are putting the milk. Some of us here would want to capture all our records for the years the farm has been in operation. And that means getting a resource, maybe an intern or one of the farm workers who are computer literate to put in data. And therefore, let's assume we started milking on the 3rd of January, search for the cow. So it will only bring the cows that are lactating under your profile. And so Gicopoa comes. Now, milk entries can be entered in 3 ways. There are those of us who milk three times, and you may want to capture every detail. So in the morning, you can enter that volume. Let's say it produced 10 liters and the milk condition was good. When you submit the entry, that entry has gone. So we have captured Gicopoa on the 3rd of January, 2025. This cow had calved previous week. We started milking, and so in the morning you got 10 liters. Then we can, the same, while we're still on that window, we have afternoon, we can edit and put 6 liters. We also confirm that entry. So it retains the cow and you can update continuously. What you cannot do is to put a morning entry. When you try to submit, it will tell you this has already been entered. It's a quality control for the system so that you do not duplicate. And so you can also put evening. In the evening, this cow was well fed. Maybe it also gave you 12 liters. So we have 12, we have 6, and we have 10. And that's it. So when you finish, you close that window. And if you scroll down, on your window, for the milk entries, it will show. To be able to show you the milk. So if you put the date, this was 3rd of January, and we filter, it will be able to show you your entries. This one on the total kgs, we just did an update, and you should be able to work to show you how many kgs this cow gave for that day. So if you add several cows and you milk them and you've entered the details, it will bring the several lines. Now for us, we have one cow that has calved. And you can quickly download the report for the farm for that day, and you'll be able to see the total. This column had a problem and it's being updated, but you'll be able to have your totals for that day for the cow. You can see what it's giving in the morning, you can see what it's giving in the evening, you can see what it's giving in the afternoon. Now, of course, we know that in terms of data entry, we come up with our protocols, and we may want to just say because of volumes and maybe because of time, I am going to be entering. For me, I have 100 cows and therefore I cannot put everything. So you may choose to put totals for the day as a one figure in the evening. So for your milk entry then for that day, your milk volume will be, let's say 30 liters. And of course, you have to ensure that the date is correct. Let's assume this was 4th of January. Around dates is very important to keep that. So if this Gicopoa, who is our cow, and we are recording milk, we have, so as I said, you can put morning, you can put afternoon, you can put evening. Those are 3 options. Or you can put total today. Now, for some of us who are going to be entering historical data, this option of total today would work to some extent. And this is a decision that you have to make. At the end of it, you just want to know that you have captured the milk correctly. So if you submit that entry for that day, it then works. All right, so we have milked our cow and we have that record. So what else happens when we have milked our cow and we need to sell the milk? So we are calling it how you're utilizing your milk from the farm. So we have individual entry, that is for the cows when you're entering daily milk production. Then you have milk utilization, and basically this is how the milk is being applied. Which date is this? Remember, we milked our cow on the 30th. We had 12 plus 10 plus 6. So assume we got 28 liters. Yeah. Of course, for you put total amount of liters that you got from your farm. In this case, we have 28 liters and then we move. So how did you apply this milk? Some went to the Njaus, some went to the cooperative. John is a middleman picked. So out of this, depending on now, let's sell this milk. So 15 liters went to the cooperative, Kilimani cooperative. The cooperative is giving us 40 shillings, for example. So we put the price. We had 5 liters that has gone to middleman. And in this case, the middleman was giving us 55, which we consider like a good price. We did not sell anything to the shop, so we have 0. We have neighbors who pick milk from us, and therefore they picked 8 liters at 60. There could have been some milk that was poured down as we were coming. Assume it's 1 liter. And in the farm, for example, we used 2 liters. How about our calves? Our calves were big, but maybe we also gave them 2 liters. And so our milk utilization is applied. 15 plus 5 is 20. Don't worry, sometimes you may not sell all the milk, so there will be balances. And this is 28. And let's put that as 4. And then we have 24, 25, 26, 27. So maybe this is 5. That is a balancing act. But at the farm, of course, you know how the milk is going. And so we can submit this data. Once you submit that milk data, it has already been entered. So basically, this can be a daily entry, and you've gotten your milk production, and therefore you can now be able to either download the report, how much milk you got, and I should say at this point when you are downloading the report, you scroll down to you scroll down. So you have to filter. Do you want for today, for example, 3rd of January? Or when you put that, you will be able to get the dates to bring for that day specifically. If you put for the month, and that means, let's say 1st January to 31st January, which is today, you also will be able to get the details. So it lists them here on the dashboard or on your screen. And then if a manager, for example, wants to reconcile or wants to send the report to the farm owner who is in Mwea or Nairobi, they can download this report and send to you. Now, they don't even need to download this report and send to you, because you can also, with your rights, you can access this report and raise queries. So I am hoping that up to that point, we have added cows, we've managed to milk and sell. So whatever selling report, let's look at a utilization report. So when we click our utilization report, you can be able to sell our milk. Good. What if you made an error in terms of the milk entry? There is always an edit button. Remember, there's always an edit button for the days. So for example, let's say we were selling a milk and we put cooperative milk in a farm owner. So you just click to the Rust and then you have an edit function. So you would go and change the cell, which is a problem. For example, maybe this was 4 and I put 5 and save. So a bit of just data entry corrections. So we had put this for 1 hour. I am wondering if we can extend maybe another 15 minutes so that we quickly run through the other modules. I should say at this point that for software or for data entry, it's really about following up the procedure and entering the information. So we have looked at the ad manager in terms of adding records for cows that we bought that have been born, and also that we found at the farm. Most of us who are farms will start with adding the ones that are at the farm, and then whenever calves are born, we can be able to add. We've looked at milk manager. So basically, there are 3 things we can do with the milk manager. We talked of records. We talked of course, selling and production. So let's quickly look at health, the health manager. So the modules are being called managers. So it shouldn't confuse you. It's basically the transactions or the entries that you can do. So under the health manager, we have 3 tasks that we can undertake. The first one is to do an examination for a cow. So basically, here we are saying Dr. Kirima has come to the farm and we've invited him. Maybe we've noted an issue, and therefore we can be able to create an health examination. So this examination can take any form. For example, it's a food FMD. It's an issue with the udder, mastitis. So let's say, for example, we are examining the udder, and are we doing all animals or is a specific cow? So the system where there is drill down, you can always see. You could even have a specific category. Maybe just want to see those ones that are lactating, and therefore you are able to then pick up that. Let's say the date is today. So basically here we are recording the visits. Very, very, very quickly, what's the priority? Very high. Of course, health records and health issues are of high priority. So you are able to put the doctor's notes here. Swollen udder, for example, not accepting to be milked in Arusha Migu. What else? Yeah, tired and not eating. So you put all the conditions there. And then, of course, here we have Dr. Kirima, and probably sometimes you can even put his number just in case we need to call him later. So that examination has gone. We are going to, of course, add, we are going to add, so once we put that examination, you can open and the report details. So we were creating a health examination. So the car has been observed. And then, of course, now under the report details, you can be able to put everything that the doctor has prescribed in terms of prescriptions for the cow. And then you submit the report. So once you submit that report, it's completed. So that's basically a function that you can do on the health. You can record a vaccination. I'm going to quickly show that. Basically a vaccination record. We have tried to do lots of vaccinations here, but if it's not there, we have other. For example, maybe PPR has not been put here, so you can assume, yeah, assume it's a mastitis vaccine. Which animal was being done? Is it all animals, or is it one animal? Let's assume it's this one, GICO. Who is providing this vaccine? Maybe you bought it from your agrovet, and of course, how much that vaccine has cost you, the date, assume it was 1st of January, and maybe they need to come back. So this is where you're not going to get reminders. Maybe they need to come back in June. You can always scroll down. And of course, the vaccination status is that it has been vaccinated. So you can quickly enter your vaccination records. So the vaccination book comes here, and when we come, or when advisors or doctors come and they're asking, can you show us our vaccination record? You just quickly go to the system and download the Excel reports. Now, because this is the first time you're using the system, and there will always be continuous improvements. Some of the improvements also will come from you, who are the users. We would be taking feedback for continuous improvement, because we want to partner with you to make this a very friendly and exciting product that serves your needs. In terms of health status, basically, you can be able to see your cows. So if a cow is sick, we can update through the health record. So there's a dashboard here for the health status. We have health, we have sick, we have treated, we have not treated. And of course, we do that by creating the health records. Our cow, which was diagnosed with mastitis, of course, from the medical record or from the examination, we had some details, and therefore there is that condition. And once we create this record, it will be able to show a sick cow. So whenever we update the records here for health status, basically from the examination, we come and update the health status. Good. So that is for health manager, examinations, vaccinations, and treatments. Of course, when you come to this one, you can update the status when it's treated. Let's say you want to see how many cows are treated. If we already did that, it will show. And I think this one can also be updated. Not treated, you have the cow. And so in terms of treatment, you now come and update that record. We have the condition already described. We have the status, not treated or treated. And then, of course, you can give the treatment details, what vaccination or what drug it has been given, and which is the date that has been done. And if it's recovered, for example, or it's not recovered, you can always update. Okay, so that is in terms of health. So what you will see is that as you interact with the system, some of the tasks, it's like self-led, or you can quickly, if you have someone who knows how to operate, even on the computer, on the phone, you can be able to quickly enter the details. Now, if you have a lot of data, you will just need to come up with a strategy to enter that. And let's look at fertility manager, and then we'll be able to come up with a weight. We would have finished the major modules. So for fertility manager, we said we have 4 things we can do. We can get fertility records. We can dry cows. We can record abortions, and we can also do calving. We already did calving for Gigopoa. we can do another calving for Mukami. And so whenever you click, it usually brings the cow's names. So you may find you have like 100, you will just filter and maybe scroll down and scrolling up and get the cow that you want. Any confusion that comes here, I think it's just maybe in terms of the tags. Tags will be unique. I don't know if farms will have similar cows with different names. What would then need to happen is that we have unique names for the cows so that you do not make an entry mistake. But those are things that the farm manager and the owner can always work out. So let's carve this. Let's carve this Mukami. Mukami is calving on the 10th. To ask you the lactation, because we had not carved it down earlier, it will say this lactating count 1. If it was a second lactation, because it already gave curve, it will automatically bring that as lactation 2 and lactation 3 like that. If we bought it and then we have to update the lactation so that we are able to have the correct details. And of course, the car has been born alive. Enter complications, none. So we have carved down. Carved down basically just recording a birth. Submit, and of course you can get the report for calving. When we were looking at the dashboard earlier, it was showing 2 lactating. Sorry, 1 lactating. Now we have 2 lactating cows. So it keeps updating, and of course young stock is updated also. We had 1 calf, now we have 2. In terms of drying off, same procedure for entry. You select the cow, assume Chikopoa is now ready for drying. And the reason for drying is readiness for, ready for calving. It's after 7 months, or we think it needs to stop giving us milk so that we can ready it and steam it for the next. So how are we carving it? Sorry, how are we drying it? This Mukami or Jikopoa likes to give a lot of milk, and therefore it's a forced drying off. And of course, you can put your remarks dried off in readiness for second birth. Those are always comments that someone can put. It's always good to give more details, so encourage the manager, encourage the entry guy to give as many details as possible. Sometimes you may carve it down, not because it's about give birth, but because of doctor's advice. And of course, the medicine that you're using. So for example, that is a medicine, and you submit. So every time you do an entry, when you submit, it goes to the system. And we need to see the triangles on the dashboard. Okay, so we keep updating this. When you scroll down, you'll always see your animals and their pregnancy status together with the fertility. Yeah, what about an abortion? Same case. You are, unfortunately, this Jikopoa is aborted. And you can give the reason for abortion. Unknown, for example, you don't know why it aborted after conceiving or after getting pregnant, and there is an abortion there. You are able to submit. So basically, in summary, for fertility record, we can detect these transactions that we have seen. We can dry off, we can carve down, and of course, we can get fertility records together with calving down. How about weight manager, which is going to be our last module before we maybe have another 5 minutes of questions. So for the weight record, it's a straightforward issue. In this one, it can be able to give you cows that are underweight, overweight. Kenya, we don't have overweight cows. I think there are very few. From my experience, most of the cows are always just average weight. So it brings all the animals. You may want to update. Okay, whenever you're filtering, you can get records for cows that have normal weight. But whenever we're updating, we just on the right side there is a plus button and there is a delete button. So let's update. For example, this cow which was born at 36 kgs on the 30th of December, we are recording at the end of the month, it has added 10 kgs, 9 kgs at 45. What would that be? So we already know we have our weight targets, and maybe we say that is a normal weight. When are we going to measure next so that we get a notification? That would be the end of February 28th. And what are the remarks? You may have a remark here or you may not have a remark. In that case, you update the record. And the moment you update the record, it calculates it gives the current weight, it calculates the increase in weight, and of course gives the percentage in terms of the increase. So this cow has a 25% increase, this curve. That's what you're saying, it's normal. So we have taken this record on the 31st of January. The next one will be on 28th. Now, if it's weekly, you can put weekly and it will keep updating. So eventually we then go to the weight record and we can be able to print that record for all the cows. We can be able to get the weight. We can be able to see how they are increasing, especially for the calves. And of course, based on our weight condition, then if the calves are not increasing, we can already see it's underweight. And therefore, for the farm owner, if these records have been done on a weekly basis for the calves, you can quickly check out on the rations, check out on the milk they're giving, and check out on the corrective measures for weight. At this stage, I should announce to all of us that the system is still undergoing development. There will be other modules that are coming up, which may actually be premium features that may attract a cost in the next once they come. But for now, we want to work together. So keep sharing your feedback through the WhatsApp platforms. You can reach us out on the number that is on the system, 070, I think 07065593 And then, so the finance module, if you click on it, for those who have tried, it gives a very encouraging caption. It's coming soon. Same case with a feed module also. This one is going to require a lot of effort to think through because we are feeding different ways, but that's also some ambitious target that we have. Eventually, we would be able to automate everything at the farm. So those two modules, when you click, you will see it's coming soon. We felt that we just need to start with the most common records at the most common operations, and then be able to grow the system to offer comprehensive solutions. So a bit of, let's look at KPIs quickly. There's a button. Whenever you scroll down there, there's a button for KPIs and reports. So you may, as a farmer, quickly want to have an overview of what's happening at the farm. How does the farm look like? And it gives graphs. So If we had entered very many animals, it will show you how many calves you have, how many heifers, how many young stock and mature stock. And then, of course, the gender distribution. The breeds, you can also quickly see how many jerseys you have, how many Holsteins you have. So depending on the data that you've entered, it will summarize here and give a curve. Now, these I've downloaded, but when you're on the system, when you click, it gives numbers. So you can quickly identify, for example, yeah, so these calves, we have two, and we have two mature stock. Now, for other farms where we've entered heifers, or those calves have grown to heifers, it will classify them appropriately accordingly. Of course, the weight calves, it will be able to show. This one would, of course, improve. You can click on a specific animal and see how it's growing. These are now the KPIs you're saying, birth count versus pregnancy. How many cows are giving birth? How many cows are pregnant? So the KPIs have not been populated here because we've not entered data. Once we enter data, for example, how many calves are dying when in a year, how many mastitis cases we have, what is the total mortality rate at the farm, and so the KPI section is very important for you as the farm owner. It will give you a lot of details and it cascades, and as we interact with it, and as we put data, we'll start getting analytics that sometimes give you peace of mind or help you to take action. So when we come to the dashboard, the main dashboard now, when you come to the main dashboard, at a glance, if visitors come to your farm, you can share, you can look at this dashboard and share the makeup of your farm. Total herd, it shows total herd, which is a makeup of all the classes. So you can see how many dry cows you have, how many milking cows you have. If you have bulls, 3-year-old calves that have just been born below 3 months, you have heifers of the different categories, and you can see how many liters of milk you've sold. You can see how the sales are going, and this is for today. You can, for example, look at this month. You can look at this week. Now this one is not bringing because we don't have we do not have details for this week. You can look at annually, and it starts to give you very interactive graphs. Green, milk sold, spilled, and then of course it can also show you which cows are giving you good milk volumes, what is the fertility status. And so this dashboard on a daily basis, when you wake up in the morning, as you plan to go to work or as you get reports, you're able to see what is happening on the farm in details for every section. So you will have, for example, how many cows are lactating. You will have what's the health summary. Yeah, and the beauty of this is that especially just knowing how the farm is performing, it gives you some easy time to be able to make decisions. So I have quickly taken us through about 1.5 hours. The issue with this is that for those of us who already entered data, we already probably have a feel of how the system works. We have encountered challenges that we are very happy to hear, and of course, which will help us with our team of software developers to update. So what I require as a farmer is to enable internet at the farm. We adopted a web-based because of challenges of data, especially because we have very many competing apps, and also we also noticed that most farms may prefer just a laptop or a desktop at the farm, and therefore if we have very many cows, we have very many transactions to be entered, entering them on a phone may not be a cup of cake for most of us. I want to pause there. I am hoping that we are going to, those of us who have not downloaded the system, please do, and get back to us if there's any challenge. But above all, this system is for you. We are expecting that as we go by and just understanding the world is becoming very digitalized, having well-managed records at the farm would help you as the farm owner to make decisions, would give you the efficiency you require to manage the farm, but also for those of us who would want, for example, to sell our farms in the future, when you have investors, or for those of us who want to diversify, you can use the data to be able to make decisions. Those of us who would want to invite a financial institution to partner with us for investment scaling up, data from this system would be a very helpful tool that we will rely on. So we remain at your disposal in terms of support and feedback. Please do. So we are at 5:30. I know we probably would want to leave, but okay. So Mary, I don't know if you quickly can go through the comments.
We have a few questions.
Yes, yes.
We have Peter asking if there's a field that you can type the breed if one select the other, that is under adding existing cow.
Okay, just come up again.
Peter is asking whether there is a field that you can type your breed if you select the other option.
Yes, there is. There is, when you select ATA, it populates, it brings a cell.
He's also wondering why the dam name appears